What's going on, beautiful people? It is I, your sister from another Mr. ThickChickVlogs, and girl, you already know from the title of this video everything that we are going to be discussing on today. But I do want to remind you guys, if you are not following me on Facebook, I don't know why you're not, girl, but I'm gonna have the link to my new like page down in the description box below. That will be how you will be able to get in touch with me if you want to ask me a question, or if you want me to do a video on something, or if you want to send me a link to something. You can do it over on my like page, and like I said, I will include that link down in the description box of this video. Also, I want to give a little bit of a disclaimer. I'm getting a lot of new subscribers over here, so hey girl, how you doing? Welcome to the family. I do want to welcome each and every one of you guys that are new here to the family. We do a whole lot of, you know, chit chats, random videos and shit talking over here on this channel. But I do want to make a disclaimer, because I get a lot of people who ask this question: why do I use so much profanity? I am who I am, and I'm probably going to be using a lot of profanity until when I have children, or whenever I feel like I want to stop using profanity. So if that is something that offends you, then this will probably not be the channel that you want to be subscribed to. But I do appreciate you coming over here and checking out the videos, and I hope that you're not too sensitive to profanity and things like that. And I hope that you do subscribe, and I hope that you do stay. And you know, I also want to say that we are family. Over here, we are an extended family, so we can agree to disagree, and we can kiss and make up tomorrow, okay? Now, we're going to go ahead and get into the topic of conversation in this video. First, we're going to talk about, girl, I don't know if you guys have been following this Bobbi Kristina funeral over the weekend, girl. I went down my mom's house yesterday, and I was kind of sort of, I didn't really look at any news coverage or anything like that online. I mean, on the television or anything. I know they didn't televise it, but I know some channel or whatever, I don't know if it was on the internet or not, but they were doing like outside news coverage where they were, you know, interviewing different people coming out of the church or whatever. But girl, what I want to talk about is goddamn Lil Brown. Child, they brought this child to the church. They went in there. They were having the, you know, the funeral or whatever. And apparently Pat Houston got up to, you know, say a few words or whatever. And Lil Brown just blurted out, "Whitney Houston gonna hunt you from the grave. You know you wrong." I mean, of course, Tyler Perry paid for the entire funeral, allegedly. That's what, you know, sources are saying. And, you know, it seems to be true. She's going to be flying on his private jet to New Jersey to be buried next to her mother. And Tyler Perry's security had to escort Miss Lil Brown out of the church. Now, I understand that Leola probably got an issue with Pat because she feels like Pat is a snake, or Pat is after Bobbi Kristina's money or after Whitney Houston's money. I totally get it, and I totally understand, okay? But there is a time and a place for everything. And the time was not at that child's funeral, and the place was not at that child's funeral. That was the wrong time for you to sit there and blurt out what the hell you had to blurt out. And of course, after she got removed from the church by Tyler Perry's security, she gonna waltz her happy ass over there to the news cameras, because, you know, I'm starting to believe she's just an attention-seeking motherfucker. She waltzes her ass over there, and she's basically saying Pat is a snake. Pat is a snake, and I'm gonna expose her for the person she. You could expose her, Leola, but you could have exposed her after the funeral. You could have let them lay their child to rest peacefully. And like you said, this means war. Okay, you're gonna do all this. Okay, you could have done that after the funeral. Why did you have to do that inside of the funeral? I mean, it's just a matter of respect. Okay, and I felt like that was very, very low for you to do that at this child's funeral. I don't care how you feel about Pat Houston. And what's even more crazy about that, and of course, hold on, before I get into that, of course she told them, I'm going to be doing a lot of interviews. I'm going to be doing a lot of interviews. Of course you're going to be doing a lot of interviews because you want some money, okay? And you know that these people are going to be paying you money in order for you to spill some kind of tea, or whatever kind of tea that you claim that you got on Pat Houston or the Houston family or whatever. And we all know they're going to be fighting over this $20 million inheritance because Bobbi Kristina was the only heir of Whitney Houston's estate. Of course, I know they said that she had other stipulations in her will, you know, like it'll go to her brother or her mother or whatever. And of course, Pat Houston's married to Whitney Houston's brother. So at the end of the day, if he getting what is his name? I can't think of his name right now. But if he getting the money, Pat getting the money. And Leola, I don't. Maybe she a little salty because Whitney Houston left behind the Nippy company for her, and apparently she was the babysitter for Bobbi Kristina. When Bobbi Kristina was little, she was living in the house with Bobbi Kristina when Whitney and Bobbi were on the road. And I feel like Leola's just a little bit salty about a lot of the stuff that's going on, and she just, I don't know. Granted, I think Pat is a little bit shady myself, But I think Leola just, I mean, she just doing a little bit too much right now. But she claims she got some tea that don't nobody else got, and she gonna expose for what it is. So we gonna be definitely be looking out for that. But what's even more crazy is after the funeral was over, after Leola got kicked out, another Brown family member came out, which I think her name was Meat or something like that. She was one of the people who was on the Houston's On Our Own, the reality television show that Pat Houston, which I think was fucked up, talked Bobbi Kristina into doing only 2-3 months after her mother died. Meat was one of the people who were on the show with Bobbi Kristina and everything like that. And she came out of the show, out of the funeral, and she was talking to the news crews. And she was all like, oh, you talking about that crazy lady? Because they was asking her questions about Leola Brown, and she was all like, oh, you talking about the crazy lady? Because she's crazy. And she was basically telling TMZ and all these other people that there is no animosity between none of the family members. The Houstons and the Browns, we are getting along just fine. So don't believe everything that you're hearing in the media from Leola Brown or whoever. She's basically saying that Leola's just trying to start a whole lot of shit and ain't no shit there to be started. So she's basically telling people to ignore the fuck out of Leola because she got some mental issues. So, and I'm starting to see, or I'm starting to believe that she does have some mental issues. That is all that I'm going to say about that situation right there. But now we're going to move on to something else, but we will definitely be following the rest of the story. And of course, Bobbi Kristina will be taken tomorrow on August the 3rd to New Jersey to be buried in the cemetery next to her mother, the late great Whitney Houston. And I just hope that this child rests in peace. I mean, it's just, I can only imagine the type of shit that she was going through when she was alive that had a lot to do with her mother's money. Granted, it was her mother's money, so of course it was her money, but I'm pretty sure people were coming at her all kinds of sides. You know, when you got a little bit of money, you got family members and everybody trying to put everything on you because they feel like you the rich one in the family, so you need to do this, and this. And even though I understand I got a lot of money, but that's not my responsibility to do everything. I can see if you were in a bind to the point where something was about to happen, you know, horrible to you or something, and I got money. Naturally, we family, I'm going to do that for you. But sometimes you got family members that when it comes to having a lot of money, it will definitely break a lot of families up. But hopefully that child is resting in peace, and she's with her mother now, and she just ain't got the words of this world to worry about anymore. Next thing that we're going to move to this whole situation with Erica Dixon, y'all, and Lil Scrappy. Apparently, Erica went and filed a restraining order against Lil Scrappy. There's a whole lot of shit apparently that's going on behind the scenes. And Erica decided to file a restraining order against him. Of course, he went on this tangent on, I don't know if it was on Twitter, Instagram, or something like that, basically, you know, calling Erica all kinds of this, that, and that because she will not let him see his daughter Imani. So I'm going to read you a little bit of what it was reported about it on the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. It said the drama between these two just won't ease up. The latest is that Erica Dixon has filed a restraining order against Lil Scrappy, claiming that she fears for her safety. So it says Love and Hip Hop Atlanta star Erica Dixon was so scared that her baby daddy Lil Scrappy might assault her that she headed to court and obtained a restraining order against the rapper, and has been ordered to stay away from her, and he'll be thrown in jail. Dixon filed the petition for a restraining order against Lil Scrappy, aka Daryl Richardson, on July the 20th in Georgia court. She pleaded with the court to grant her a temporary protective order against the rapper, claiming he committed family violence, either against her or against their daughter. So we don't know if he actually did something to her or if he did something to their daughter. And the court reviewed the allegations earlier this month. So whatever she did, whatever she reported, they reviewed it and they confirmed it to be true, and they granted her the restraining order. And it says the order prohibits Scrappy from coming anywhere near Dixon, and if he does, he will be headed to jail. According to reports, Scrappy was served with the protection order court documents on July 22nd and will appear in court on August 12th to defend himself. Scrappy had previously posted a message to his Instagram page saying that Erica was keeping their daughter from him out of spite. But anyone who has watched them on Love and Hip Hop knows that it's definitely not that simple. Dixon is currently in the midst of suing Scrappy for child support, and their child custody battle is also heating up. Okay, so of course a lot of people are saying that Erica is bitter because, you know, he's going with the Bambino now and he's happy, and him and the Bambino are, you know, kind of sort of living together or whatever, and they're saying that that Erica's a little bit salty about that. I can't necessarily say that. And of course, you got a lot of people who are on the outside looking in, and they feel like, oh, okay, Erica, you ain't got no right to keep this boy from his child. You know, if he doing the best he can, taking care of her, you have no right to do that. And you got a lot of people that were going in on her on Instagram. So this one chick went in and said, who are you to, not let Scrappy see his child? Just went in on Erica. So of course Erica decided to defend herself. So let me tell you what Erica said. Okay, Erica said, I'm going to address you only because you're lost. He wants you to think I'm angry and bitter. But for what I walked away from the relationship, for one, I walked away from the relationship and I'm very happy. What you didn't see were scenes that were cut off, and my new relationship, as well as ventures into acting as Class 6 clothing and hair. So of course you would think one way. Again, if it was about money, I would have kept her and her dad a long time ago. So clearly it's not. I would have kept her from her dad a long time ago. So clearly it's not. Of course people are typing with phones and stuff, so she's not typing in complete sentences, but I can kind of understand what she's saying. She said other things have gone on which have caused his visitation to be temporarily suspended. Major difference from me keeping him from his child, but you said it best though. It's none of your business. And like I said, of course, we see what we see on Love and Hip Hop from that hour show, and a couple of few scenes that we see Lil Scrappy in and Erica in, and people automatically feel like they know these people. You don't know these people. They're just like people watch vloggers and stuff on YouTube, and they feel like they know every aspect of that person's life because they see an hour-long video or 45-minute. Matter of fact, hell, these fucking vlogs don't be no hour-long. These vlogs be damn 20, 30 minutes long a day. So you got to think about what are these people doing for the other 23 hours and 40 minutes of their day, okay? So you can't sit there and just feel like you know a person because of a 20-minute video or because of a couple of few scenes that you've seen them in Love and Hip Hop. Because a lot of that shit is scripted. Just in case you guys didn't know, and I've said that several times before. So we don't know what the hell is going on with Lil Scrappy and Erica. Of course, Lil Scrappy might be putting all this stuff on social media to try to make people feel like Erica is just this, vindictive ass person. But we don't know what type of person Lil Scrappy is outside of that television show either. So all I can say is we can sit there and we can pray for him. But when you're on the outside looking in on the situation, especially a situation like this, this type of a situation. I can't speak for other type of situations, but situations like this, sometimes you have to be a little bit cautious because you don't know what a person is doing or the reason why a person is doing something. And I know a lot of people are going to automatically assume that she's doing this because she's upset because he's with Bambi and, he ain't paying his child support, so she don't want him to see, Imani or whatever. And some people are even saying that, she just doing it to be vindictive, like she's not doing it because he's done anything to her or whatever. But she said there was a violent act that happened either to her daughter or to her, so that is the reason why she got the restraining order against him. So all we can do is follow the story if we want to follow it, or just send up a prayer for him, and that's pretty much all that we can do. But that is what's going on with Erica and Lil Scrappy as we speak now. I know people are sure not gonna be tuned in to Love and Hip Hop for this, and some people are even saying, "Girl, you doing this shit? Y'all doing this shit for an extra storyline." You already know. We don't know. This shit might be, plotted up for the next season. Who knows? But I'm pretty sure they probably wouldn't go as far as getting restraining orders, but no plot. But then again, you got people who've done crazier shit, so you can't necessarily say that. So send up a prayer for Erica and Lil Scrappy and little Imani, that they get over this situation, because that stuff is not easy, especially broadcasting your life for the world to see and the world critiquing your life is not easy. So they just send up a prayer for them because we don't know what's going on for real in that situation. Now we're going to move on. Since we own baby mom and baby daddy drama, we're going to move on to Ciara and baby Future. Y'all, I don't know if y'all been seeing on social media either, all these photos of not Lil Scrappy, I'm talking about Lil Scrappy now, of Future, Future's baby, Lil Future and Ciara and Russell Wilson. Girl, Ciara been going to Russell Wilson's training sessions at the football camp or whatever, and Lil Future been hugging all up on Russell Wilson, and baby Future is in his damn feelings. Future went on Instagram and Twitter and went on a rant basically saying that she's doing that shit to be vindictive because she knows that it pisses him off, and the cameras are around and you got my baby all hugged up with this, this dude that you dating What if this shit don't work out between y'all and, you know, you confusing the hell out of my baby and all this stuff? My thing is this. I understand that now. Coming from a male's perspective, I can see how a man will feel some type of way about, you know, another dude just, you know, hugging all up on his child, basically, look, you know, doing the things that what he feel like he should be doing. But Future, I don't know the situation between you and Ciara, but whatever it is, maybe you need to, you know, be in his life a little bit more. I don't know if you are, if you aren't, but maybe you need to be in his life a little bit more. Maybe you can be doing the things that Russell Wilson is doing. I mean, maybe if you wouldn't have fucked up, it wouldn't have been in the type of situation where Ciara would have had to move on to bigger and better things. Now, I feel like ain't nothing necessarily wrong with it as long as, you know, your son ain't calling Russell Wilson daddy or nothing like that, okay? But you got to understand that what happens if let me take this back. Future is basically saying that he doesn't want his child to get confused if it comes down to Ciara and Russell Wilson not working out. But it's not like she been dating Russell Wilson for 2 days. She been dating him for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And Russell Wilson seems like a good Christian man. So I don't see anything wrong with her hanging out with him, with baby Future being around, as long as she's protecting him, making sure that things are, you know, he ain't, you know, whooping the babe or doing no shit like this, and he ain't calling the man daddy. What's the issue? Or are you bitter because she's with another dude and the shit is being broadcasted for the world to see? I think that may be it as well. And of course, you got the paparazzi that are out there taking these pictures because goddamn, they know that shit gonna fuse some fucking fire. I just hope it don't fuse fire to the point where Future try to get stupid and goddamn try to do nothing to Russell Wilson, because he was on there calling this man fuck boys and everything. Just got my baby hugging on this fuck boy. So I want y'all to chime in the comment section below. What do you think about Ciara and Russell Wilson having like a little, you know, like a miniature family time? And I'm not saying that, you know, like he should be calling his man dad or anything like that, but what do you think about it? I don't think there's anything wrong with it unless she got him calling him daddy, which I highly doubt that Ciara got this baby calling this man daddy. I don't think there's nothing wrong with him interacting with the baby, playing with the baby, throwing the football and stuff back and forth with the baby. I mean, what's wrong with that? If anything, Future, you should be proud that Ciara is with a man who doesn't mind being, you know, a positive role model for your child. Not saying that you're not, but I mean, Russell Wilson is a very positive role model for your son. He's a good Christian dude. He want to wait in the marriage. He want to do all these different things. So I want you to explain to me, what is the issue with the situation besides the fact that you feel like she doing the shit to be vindictive to you? But I want you, family, to let me know in the comment section below, what do you feel about that? Would you feel some type of way if, just say, your baby daddy, you know, got a new girlfriend or whatever, and they go somewhere and the new girlfriend is playing with your child? Would you feel some type of way? Would you feel some type of way if your baby dad or your ex-husband or whoever felt some type of way because you got a new man and you got this new man around your child? Now, you done been with this dude. I'm not talking about some nigga that you done been with for 2 days now. I'm talking about somebody that you've been dating for a couple of months. Okay? Wouldn't you feel some type of way if your ex-husband or your baby dad be like, oh, wait, I don't want you to have this dude around my baby. I don't want this dude nowhere near my baby. Y'all let me know in the comment section what you feel about that whole situation. I feel like it's a little silly. Now, we are about to move on to, girl, okay, let me tell y'all a little bit something about these anonymous hackers. I don't know if y'all heard about this, but of course, we need to keep Sandra Bland's name on our tongue, girl, because it is still a whole lot of stuff that is going to be coming out about this whole case. And if you guys haven't heard the latest news about what is going on in the Sandra Bland case, the anonymous hackers, girl, they have went into the Waller County Sheriff's Department's system, and they done leaked all the home addresses, telephone numbers, salary information, everything of all the people who work at the Waller County Sheriff's Department. I'm talking about, they got the address, they got the link to their Facebook page, the link to their LinkedIn, they got how much they make, their telephone number, their email address. The shit is crazy, okay? And of course, you know, a lot of people are saying that these anonymous hackers, they really not who we think they are. There are some people working for the government or whatever. Maybe so, but they are not freaking playing. And of course, they put the guy who killed Sandra Bland at the top of the list. It says, people always make the best exploits. I've never found it hard to hack anyone. If you listen to them, watch them, their vulnerabilities, and like a neon sign screwed into their heads. Greetings, Waller County Sheriff's Department. Are you ready for August 8th? Do you think the city police is ready? Well, we are ready. On July 10th, 2015, unnecessary force of action was used against Sandra Bland when she was arrested over a minor traffic stop. Officer Encenia, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Encenia, used excessive force causing injuries to Sandra, which led to her death. We are distraught and angered by the careless response to our demands of arresting Officer Brian Encenia and the peddling of illegitimate and doctored evidence by the media. Our blood is boiling with rage, and on August 8th, we will be hitting your servers once more. We will also take our rage to the streets across the nation. We will be protesting at courthouses, parks, police stations, and even at officers' homes. We will have our moment of rage for her. We have given you plenty of warning of what is to come. Not a single sheriff's officer in your department has attempted to cross the thin blue line and hold the murderer accountable for his actions. Therefore, in the eyes of FightSec and in the eyes of Anonymous, you are all just as guilty as he is. As your punishment, we are leaking your employee list little by little. The only way to stop this is by crossing the thin blue line and uphold the oath you swore to protect and serve the citizens and arrest Officer Encenia. August 8th will be a day to remember. That day, the nation will rage. We are asking the people protesting in Waller County to consider and talk with your friends and families about protesting at the officers' houses until the police state of America realize that the power belongs to the people and that their badge does not grant them extra right. They will continue to abuse their power. They will continue to murder our kids, murder our vets, murder the homeless, and continue to use the use of brutality. Protesting at their house will show them that you are serious and demand change. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Link arms with groups like Anonymous, Cop Block, Cop Watch, Occupy, and Black Lives Matter, and burn the oppressors down. This modern day genocide will soon be over, America. We will soon no longer be like Iraq on the home front. Until you stop using deadly force on unarmed citizens, this movement will be here. We will be here. The FightSec movement is here to stay. Waller County Sheriff's Department, you should really keep a tighter security of your server data. To the police state of America, your police brutality will no longer go unnoticed. You are no longer exempt from the laws you swore to uphold. Do not expect us, for it's far too late. Now I know what a ghost is. Unfinished business, that's what. Solomon Rushdie, the Satanic Verses. If you believe that God makes miracles, you have to wonder if Satan has a few up his sleeve. And they list a whole lot of the officers' information down in the bottom part of this. Of course, I'm not going to read any of that off because that's not my place. If you can find this article, that is up to you. But they have leaked all of these officers' information, which is really, really horrible. But, you know, it is what it is. Things is getting really, really ugly in America, and it's going to continue to get even uglier. But I'm going to go ahead and purge this information because y'all know a motherfucker is just too trifling to go and buy her another SIM card. Not SIM card, another SD card. And we're going to get back. We have two more stories that we're going to discuss, and then we're going to go on and enjoy the rest of our Sunday, girl. But I'll see y'all back in 5, 4, all right, 3, beautiful 2, people. So we are back. The next thing that we're going to talk about is this Chris Brown baby mama drama that he got going on, girl. And I should have talked about this immediately after I talked about the Scrappy and Erica Dixon situation. That's what I should talk about in the future situation. But girl, okay, apparently Chris Brown's baby mama claims that she don't trust Chris Brown with baby royalty by himself. Okay, but let me go ahead and read y'all a little bit of the situation that is going on, and then we're going to clock some tea what some tea needs to be clocked. Shout out to Quazia up and around up through this piece, okay? So it says Chris Brown's baby mama fears for the safety of their daughter when she's alone with him. So So she's asking a judge to allow him to see 1-year-old royalty when someone else is around. We're told Nia Guzman, which is Chris Brown's baby's mother, just filed the legal docs for supervised visitation. Chris has filed his own docs to establish paternity so he can fight for joint custody, but so far the judge has not ruled. Now, I thought they already had the thing to establish paternity. Did they not already do that? So do he not know if this really his baby or not? I mean, she really do look like him, but I'm just saying, I thought they had already done a paternity test on all this type of shit, which is the reason why he owned up to it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I thought, but we're going to keep it moving. Oh, it says, we're told Guzman wants full custody because she thinks Chris is simply too irresponsible to care for a kid on his own, and she believes he and his friends all have substance abuse issues. He thinks it's all a ploy to get more child support, and all that type of stuff. So let me clock in on this situation right here. Miss Nia Guzman, however you pronounce your name. First and foremost, you did not think that Chris Brown was too irresponsible, and you didn't think that he had too much of a substance abuse issue when you laid down with him. The reason why I'm feeling like you laid down with Chris Brown now, by looking at a lot of the shit that you doing, how you wanting all this child support money, and now you're doing all this shit right here talking about you don't feel like he need to be alone with baby royalty because you feel like it's a safety concern. What I feel like is you saw a lot of dollar signs when you saw Chris Brown. You saw dollar signs. You felt like, oh, okay, I'm gonna fuck this dude, let him fuck me raw. Even though I feel like he is very immature and he has all these substance abuse issues, I can get me a nice piece of money by having me a baby by Chris Brown. So of course, now that you didn't try to file to get this, I think it was $15,000. Was it $15,000 a month or some shit like that? I think he was already paying her $2,500 to $4,000 or something like that, and she wanted $15 grand per month. And of course, Chris Brown told her, "Bitch, is you crazy? Okay, fuck you gonna do? Man, it does not take $15,000 a month to raise a child. I don't give a damn how rich a man is. I understand that you feel like, okay, he's Chris Brown. He need to be able to pay this. He need to do this. He need to do that. But now you talking about you feel like somebody else need to be around him when he has his child in his custody. I granted, I feel like Chris Brown has a whole lot of issues. I feel like he got a lot of shit that he needs to work on, but I feel like Chris Brown has matured a lot since he has, had this baby, as far as being irresponsible and things that we have seen on social media and things that we have seen on the news about him. I feel like he has matured just a little bit. But as far as you saying, I'm trying to figure out what's the reason why you're saying this. What's the reason why you feel like you're fearing for your daughter's safety when baby royalty is around? Is it because people are broken in the house? When his auntie was there? I mean, I just want to know what's the reason now, and not just that. I feel like I agree with Chris on this situation. I feel like you want a little bit more child support money, and you feel like, okay, if you get full custody, he gonna have to pay you a little bit more change. But now, since he's able to see the baby whenever he wants to see the baby, he can be able to do things for the baby while the baby is in his custody, and things like that, and you feeling some type of way about the situation. I feel like Nia is just a money hungry, and she just wanted, she saw dollar signs when she saw that $1 million dick sitting right there. But I want y'all to chime in down in the comment section below about what you think about that situation as well. So what do you think about Nia Guzman saying that she don't trust Chris Brown along with baby royalty? Let me know down in the comment section below. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about is Jared, who is the former spokesman for Subway. You guys know who Jared is, the dude who claimed he lost 100 pounds. Was it 100 pounds? A little over 100 pounds after eating a Subway every day for, was it a year, 2 years, some shit like that. Allegedly, the feds have subpoenaed affidavits to get text messages and things off that from Fogle's phone between him and a Subway employee who he was having a relationship with. And I'm going to read you a little bit about what was going on. So it says, Jared Fogle reportedly paid $100 to have sex with a 16-year-old girl, an encounter he called amazing. So it says the FBI has subpoenaed text messages according to TMZ, Jared and the Subway employee with whom he was in a sexual relationship with. According to the report, in 2008, Jared wanted the woman to advertise herself on Craigslist to have sex with other men so that he could watch. Okay? Yes. He wanted the girl that he was in a relationship with to advertise herself on Craigslist to have sex with other men so that he could watch. He allegedly said he'd pay $500 per encounter. So For every person that she had sex with, he would pay $500. I don't know if he would pay her the $500 or if he was going to pay the men the $500. That has yet to be established. But the woman then said, the girl he was dating, after he told her to advertise herself on Craigslist, she said, "Is this the same website you found that 16-year-old girl on that you fucked? I still can't believe you only paid $100 for her." Okay, so basically asking him, is this the same website that you paid, you know, this 16-year-old girl $100 to have sex with him? And he responded, "It was amazing." So if I ask you some shit like that and you respond, "It was amazing," is that or is that not admitting to what the fuck I just asked you? Otherwise, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck is you talking about? Okay, what the fuck are you talking about? But for me to sit there and be like, "It was amazing," that further lets me know that, motherfucker, you did the shit and you said that it was amazing. Sick as fuck, right? So it said the woman says that she went to Subway to complain about the situation, but the company didn't do anything. So she said she went and told Subway about the shit that he was saying, how, you know, he wanted her to advertise herself on Craigslist and how he paid $100 for the 16-year-old girl to have sex with him, and they didn't do anything about it. Now, they did say they did a little bit of research, and in the state where Jared Fogle lives, it is legal for the age of consent, the legal age of consent in his state is 16. So what I'm trying to figure out, even though I think it's very, very disgusting for anybody to have sex with a 16-year-old. I don't even, motherfucker, how old is Jared? Goddamn 40? Motherfucker, he having fucking a 16-year-old girl. So, but they said it's the legal age of consent is 16 in his state. So I'm trying to figure out, is it something that they can legally do to him since the legal age of consent is 16 in, you know, his area? The most they can do to him is, you know, get him for, you know, get him for prostitution or some shit like that, or, you know, for buying sex or something like that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how it works when you have things like that, when you have the age of consent being such and such, such and such. Can they legally do something to you when that person has consented to the sex or whatever? I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comment section below what you think about this situation. But I will definitely be following this story to see what else goes on with this. You know, it's just a whole, like I said, some people just got a whole lot of fucking skeletons in their closet that you will probably never know about until some shit hits the fucking fan and they get the goddamn subpoenaing fucking text messages and getting the goddamn going through your goddamn computer. Because people have some sick ass shit on their computer, and people think that they can sit there and search all this nasty and disgusting shit on their computer, and they think they can go and delete their history, and it's, you know, that's it, that's the ball game. But let me tell you, that is not the ball game. You have people out there, IT professionals who can go through your computer and they can find out everything that you have ever searched on your computer from the day that you got it until the day that they pick it up from you. So you can go through and delete whatever the fuck you want to delete, but on your hard drive and shit, they can go through that motherfucker and search and shit. Technology is a beast today, okay? Maybe you could have did that shit back in the, you know, the 90s and the 80s and shit, but now you're not gonna do none of that shit and get away with it. That's why I tell people, you can't go kill nobody and get away with it. Motherfuckers thinking they can go and kill folks nowadays and get away with that shit. They will find out who the fuck you are by picking up a piece of your asshole hair off the carpet. Okay, some hairy ass carpet. They will pick up one of your goddamn duty hole hairs and be like, oh, okay, ThickChickVlogs did that shit. This hair came out her fucking ass. You know what I'm saying? People, girl, y'all better be careful thinking that you can get over on the system. It's too much forensic shit going on here, girl. Y'all better quit doing that motherfucking shit. So I will definitely be following this Jared situation right here to see how this situation right here pans out. Now, the last thing that we're going to discuss really quickly, it's going to be really, really quickly because I really ain't got too much to chime in on this bullshit because all of this shit is alleged. But the Duggars have allegedly been asking people to donate them money because they are, you know, I guess having a little bit of financial problem. This was reported by OK Magazine, Radar Online, and The Hollywood Gossip. And if you guys don't know, of course, TLC has canceled 19 Kids and Counting, but the Duggars have not Facebook. They do have a Facebook page, but they also have YouTube accounts that they upload on, and they put a donate button on their Facebook, I keep saying Facebook, they put a donate button on their YouTube channel, and of course, you know, they were asking people to support. They don't care how big, they don't care how small and all this stuff because they want to produce fresh new content. And of course, people were going in on them like, how the fuck can you ask us to donate you money and shit like this motherfucker? Y'all been on goddamn television for all these years. You mean to tell me now you acting like you ain't got no fucking money? Okay, since y'all ain't been on the air for, what, 2 months, and now you claiming like you broke or some shit? People were going in on the Duggars, and they basically removed all the support, you know, buttons and all this stuff, asking people to donate to them. But I do know that they did get donations from people because they wanted to go on what they called mission work to somewhere out of the country or whatever, and they said they needed donation to be able to go and do that. But my thing is this. I told people several times that I felt like that woman kept having, that woman and that man, because I'm not going to put it all on the woman, they kept having all those children because they looked at those children as dollar signs. They felt like, okay, the older children are getting a little bit older, they're moving out of the house, we need to have more children if we want to continue to have this television show. They felt like the more children they had, the longer they would be able to keep that television show, and they would have if all of this shit, when it came out about, you know, the child molest. Okay, the Chester, the molest or whatever. If all this shit when it came out, then they would have been able to continue on with the show. So, I just, you know, I mean, I don't necessarily feel no type of way about it. I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised. Like I said, a lot of this shit do not shock me. But that's something else that the Duggars are asking for donations for, you know, to produce fresh new content because they're no longer on television and they need a few more coins. But I feel like this. Who the fuck told you to go and have all them fucking kids if you couldn't take care of them? What was his occupation before this? Of course, we know he's not working now, from my understanding. I mean, all they do is do this television show. They were making way more money than he probably would have outside of the house doing the Duggars television show. But now that's been canceled. What's the plan B since you got all these kids? Okay, how many of them grown? Was it 4 or 5 of them outside of the house grown and married now? You got a goddamn 16 of them still in the damn house. You know, girl, that's a whole shitty ass mess. But pray for the Duggars. That's all I can say. Pray for the Duggars. Because ain't nobody trying to donate nothing to them. Ain't nobody trying to give them a motherfucking thing. And I think that's all that I had to talk about. I want you guys to comment down in the comment section below about everything that we talked about in today's video. Also, give this video a thumbs up. Again, if you are not following me over on the Facebook page, I do encourage you to head on over there to the like page and give it a like so you can keep up with your girl over there. I will leave that link down in the description box below, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.